lovely sunny day in the UK. We're not on the field, as you can tell. I've been out walking dogs, so I run a pet care business. That's what I do as my main job, apart from setting up the farm. And I met up with Adam, who does the filming and editing for me very kindly. We've been friends for many years. I think it's about 20 years now. I think I'm due a medal. Yeah, that's where we are. We just come out for a walk down here by the river. It's very nice, actually. It's a bit cold and windy, but we haven't been rained on yet, fingers crossed. But I think Adam said to stop by the bandstand so he can run in there and film if needs be, and I can stand out in the rain. I think that's the plan. So when I first got to the field, my first job was to get it fenced. There was a very dilapidated fence around the edge of it. It was just 3 strands of barbed wire, but half the place were down. The wire was all over the place. It was a mess. So the first job was to get it stock fenced. I got a company in to do the fencing for me. Yes, I probably could have done it myself, but it was 1.5 kilometres of fencing. And I don't think that's the way to learn. I think the project was just too big for me to take on myself, so I did get a company in to do it. It was expensive. I think it cost about £14,000, but they did an amazing job and it was done in a week, less than a week. So that was great. And once it was enclosed, then it was time to move on to getting the land sorted out. So I've mentioned previously that the land wasn't great quality when I first moved here. It had been used for summer and winter maize, and yeah, it was just totally overrun with weeds. It was ragwort, knotweed, curly leaf dock, and charlock. That was pretty much all that was growing on my field, with a few strands of grass here and there. So it wasn't a very much been left fallow for 2 years state. Whilst they were selling the land, so it needed completely redoing. There was no salvaging it. I looked at salvaging it, looked at maybe getting some animals in to clear it and then moving on to reseeding it, but it just wasn't practical. It was too expensive. Ploughing wasn't my first choice. It's not the most environmentally friendly choice, but there has to come a point where you just have to be realistic and do what you can afford. So luckily, as I have said before as well, one of the local farmers who came to cut the hedges at the field, he is a hay farmer, so he wanted to grow grass on my field to take for hay. I wanted grass on my field, so we made a deal. So the deal I did was the farmer came and did all the work. So he came, he sprayed first. We had to spray it, weed killer. There was no way around it. It was just weeds. And then he came and ploughed. So once it settled, which took a couple of weeks, it was very quick. He then came and planted the seed. So we had to choose a short lay in the end. We wanted a long-term lay initially. We wanted a 10-year grass lay, but it was just too expensive. The prices of seed at the moment are crazy. So we went for a 5-year lay, but hopefully it'll last longer. They often last 10 years without any real issues, so we'll see what happens there. But it grew really quickly. It was good. Within a month, I would say, I was up to a decent amount of grass. Yeah, it was good. And now on full grass. Now we have got a grass field. The next step will be the farmer's bringing his sheep. We've got sheep coming onto the field in the next couple of weeks. A couple of hundred of them coming in. They're going to come and eat the grass down, which will help it till across to get a full coverage. And they will also fertilise the land. I do have some patches of dead soil here, sadly. It's not masses, but there's probably about 20 square metres of completely dead soil. Not even weeds are growing there. So hopefully this will help with that as well. It will just start fertilising it. The next step after that will be chickens. The chickens will then come along. These will be my chickens. I'm going to start getting some poultry in. They will then eat any worms from the sheep's poo, and they will also scratch it into the ground nicely and add their own fertiliser as well. So I want to keep it as natural as I can going forwards, to maintain the grass. Yeah, so fingers crossed it all works.
Make a noise like a duck.
Hmm?
Make a noise like a duck.
I can do ducks. I went to nursery school.